FlossTube, Catherine, Stitching in Costume here. Welcome to my channel. This is a channel about my stitching, primarily cross stitch today. I do have a little bit of other stitching at the end that I will throw in, but I'm going to kind of push through and try to be as organized as I can be. If you're just joining me, thank you for stopping by. I'm really always happy to have new people visiting with me. And if you're coming back to visit, I'm really grateful for you to come back. I know it's been a while. It's been over 3 weeks since I posted, so yeah, I know there's a lot of great FlossTubers to watch, and I'm really happy that you're checking in with me. So, hello. I'm going to plow right in to show you what I have been stitching. Let me grab my book of days, and I'm going to start off showing you my May page. So I know we're into June, and by the time I'm filming this, I think this is June 9th that I'm filming. I should know that. It's June 9th. I won't post it June 9th. Obviously, it takes me a couple of days usually to edit and get this uploaded, but this is what May looked like for me. There was a lot of activity stitching-wise. You know, I stitch every day. I stitch a couple of times a day. I do other things too. I do a little bit of like quilting, and I play around with, you know, project bags and stuff like that. So I want to start off by saying thank you to a couple of ladies. These were not a surprise. I knew these were coming. The first one was from Nicola Bumble Stitches, and I won one of her giveaways. That was so fun. So I'm watching her, and then she did her random comment picker, and I won this. It's a stellar quilt pattern. So I'm new to quilting. This looks like it's going to be a challenge for me, but I have some ideas about what fabrics to use, what I would like to go for color-wise. So I'm really excited to get this. Thank you so much, Nicola, for doing your giveaways. And thank you for sending it. She sent it out super fast too, so that was a lot of fun. I also got this really cool card, first of all. So this is from Pat. Pat won my red bag giveaway. It was so nice of her to send me this card, and also to send me that. She asked if I would like this, and I said absolutely, I would love that. That was so kind of you. She had already stitched it, and so this is by Brenda Gervais, and it's called Hickety Pickety. It looks like it would be a really fun fall stitch. So I'm excited to get that up and get that started in the fall probably. I've got a lot of things that I have going, so but that is definitely going to be moving up to the top of the list. I am going to jump in today with, I'm going to jump in, there's my bird. Why can't I do this when I don't have my bird going? Okay, I guess I could turn it off or put it in another room, but then what fun is that? How would you know it was like live? Haul. I'm going to throw some haul out here. So I've been doing just a little bit of shopping, and I thought, you know, because I love to see people when they compare their fabrics for me. So I've got some Seraphim fabric. I'm going to put them out here for you. Would have a little stash of some neutral fabrics, because that's what I love, are the neutrals right now. And you know, they just, almost anything looks good on those. So again, let me pull it again. So this one is the Old Stationery. That is the Winter White in the middle, and the Dusty Road at the top. So those are my fabrics. I did get some flosses. So one of the charts I got last week and I showed was Jane Thwaites, and this is by Hedgerow Stitching. Rebecca is charting some historical samplers now. So this is a PDF download I got, and some of the colors I got to go with this. Let me pull those up. So I got a couple of Classic Colorworks and a couple of gentle art. So we have Crystal Lake, Lexington Green, Ye Old Gold, and Ruby Slipper. So those are really pretty. And that is the chart. I think there's a couple more I need to get for it. And I need to find some fabric. Maybe one of the Seraphim fabrics I got would work for that, for sure. I think maybe the winter white would look really pretty. Let me pull that out. That might be a good match. So yeah, I'm excited to get that one going eventually. I mean, I've got a lot of whips, so, and I have a lot of things kitted up, ready to go. Another chart I got for a July stitch is Patriotic July. I love this one here. And I got a couple of flosses that would work for that. This one is, the red is Bandana, the green is called Granny Annie. I mean the blue. Oh, isn't that pretty? Wow. You know, it's just a really, I mean, I love the play of color. Like that looks really vibrant, and then you pull it back a little bit and that gets more true. I guess it's kind of a purpley blue. It's more of a marine blue rather than a navy. It's really pretty. So I'm thinking I might start with that because that might stitch up pretty quick. That's a little ambitious for me to finish in July in addition to all the other things that I'm trying to get done. One more chart. I just had to get that one. I haven't got it kitted up yet, but I just thought it was really pretty. I know a lot of people are starting this, and it's a very happy colors. I love Lori Holt. I love her designs. So, like that one. Now this is new to me. This vendor, I found them on, I believe they're on Etsy. It's called Stitchin' Depot. Cover up my info here. And it is, what I got are these floss rings, or floss tags. So I just put them on a ring that I had. And they're acrylic. They're like excellent quality. And let's see if I can get it closer. It's got a little hole on the side there so you can put your little extra bit of floss, especially when you're using the fancy floss or the silk. It's nice to have, I hold on to all those little bits and pieces. Now what I did there, so I can label them, I got this, this tape at the dollar store. It's actually the Daiso, which is like a Japanese dollar store here in California. And it is, if you know, well, you know, Post-it notes, right? The sticky part of the Post-it notes. So these are all sticky and you can write on the top. So they stick pretty well to these little acrylic pieces that I can see so far. And so I can reuse these quite a lot. They're beautiful. I think they were about $25, a little less than that, for 50 of them. And they came in this bag, and good feel to them, and you can hear nice sound. So I can't wait to put some floss on and use these. So now I'm ready to use them. That is my haul. That's all the haul. So not a ton of haul, but I have so many pieces of fabric, and I've got so much stuff I need to just stitch from what I have for now, stitch from my stash. I am going to jump in. I'm going to show you a fully finished object. Now this is something that I have completed before, and do I have the chart? I do. Pink Sparrow Sampler. Love this so much. I think you might be able to still get this on Brenda Gervais' website, Country Stitchers. I'll link it below. And I did this one on a Rit dye fabric that I Rit dyed myself with tan Rit, and it's a 32 count with all the called for flosses. And I am so excited. I took a cue from Kim, the Contented Stitcher, who finds all these really fantastic frames at thrift stores and paints them. I lucked into this one. I lucked into this frame, and I painted it gold. It was like a white, like a washed white, and I love it. I love it. So I'm still learning how to lace my pieces, and I am learning. I tried to pin this one. I'm not really good at pinning. I need to try it on a smaller piece first and really get the hang of pinning before I think I'm, going to be good enough to pin something bigger. This felt bigger to me, and so you can see my lacing job. Anyway, thank you, Kim, for the inspiration, and thank you for dropping this into my lap, God, because this is fantastic. I love it. I lucked out there. It fits. It feels like it fits pretty good. I have about an inch. It's not completely perfect, but it's perfectly good. And it's going to go right up here on my sampler wall. So next time you tune in, it's going to be up there. One more finish. This one I haven't really fully finished it, but it's that Blackbird freebie called Now I Know My ABCs, and I think I saw this on Merritt Crawford's YouTube, and she had a link to it, so I jumped over to the Blackbird page. You can still get it, and it is a free chart, and just pop on over there. If I can link it down in the drop down, I will. But it was easy to find. And so I did this on a 27 count mystery linen 2/2. I used a Gloriana Schoolhouse Red silk. And I haven't fully finished because I really want to do a hem stitch on it and put it on this spool properly. So I'll get there. That's an old spool I got at the thrift store. Just lucked into that one too. Okay, so those are my fully finished objects. I'm going to jump into my whips now because I'm 14 minutes in. So here we go. I'm going to start off with, this was one that is languishing kind of in my whip pile. MMEW 1847. And I hadn't really worked on it in a while, and it was just kind of kept peeking at me, and so I finally grabbed it and pulled it out. Now I'm doing this on a 40 count Lakeside light exemplar, vintage light exemplar, and I think this is one of the first 40 counts that I ever really seriously started to work on. And that's where I am. So I think I had done, this is where I kind of left off when I put it away. And so I worked up and I did the two ladies and the two men. And there is something in the middle there. I can't remember what it is that, I know it's in my sampler motif book, but I'm not really sure what they represent. But I'll look that up. But yeah, I'm enjoying this. I'm just using my own thread conversion. I started off with the DMCs, and then I just went rogue and started to pull things and just put things on that I really liked. I loved like that greeny blue. So yeah, that's kind of the full color palette. I didn't pull them because they're in the plastic bags. It's kind of hard to see. I haven't really converted it all over onto floss drops. Maybe that's what I'll use my new acrylic floss drops for. So that is MMEW and 1847. It's by Samplers and Such. And I think you can still find that. I'm not sure if it's still like out there in print, but I found it on eBay, and I saw it on Instagram, and then I hunted it down. Okay, this is one that I do down. It's summer here, and it's kind of overcast today and a little bit on the cooler side for California foothills. but we have been having some hot summer weather. So this is the one I will take down when we go down to the pool with the dogs, because I have this on a 32 count Heartland by Picture This Plus. So it feels like I don't have to worry so much about it. You know, if I get it kind of dusty, it's not going to really matter because it's kind of that color of a linen anyway. And I am using the called for flosses, and I have shown this before. I have completed, it's huge. I completed the border as far as like matching all the vines. So now I've just been working on the flowers and the leaves and doing a couple of motifs. So some of the critters there. And this is also one of the things that I'll do at night if I'm sitting there watching in the TV room and it's dark and I've got my little magnifier. This is the one I pull out because I can still, a 32 count is kind of easy to see for me. So his eye is on the sparrow. Not really cranking on it, but I am working on it. I'm making small progress, but pushing forward. So there is that one. Okay, let's see. Anne Morrison. Let me make sure I get this right, because I filmed this once before and I was pulling out Anne Morrison. What I thought was Anne Morrison was actually Jessie Watson. So I am doing a couple of Hands Across the Sea charts and I got them mixed up. So Anne Morrison is a stitch along that I'm doing. It was started with Traditional Stitches in Canada and Nicola Parkman. And so this is an exclusive to Traditional Stitches. I'm not sure if you can still get this chart, but you can contact them and see if they have any more. I got the 37 count Russian Tea Cake by Legacy Linens. This was, that came when I got the chart. I got the linen, and then I just kitted up the DMC floss myself. So let me show you where I am on her. And I have this on my Millennium Scroll Rod. So this is a stitch along, which means every month there's a goal. And so far, I have been meeting the goals. So that's where I am. I have stitched the eyelets. I'm moving down into that corner there. I still have I did the little heart today, and I started on the basket of, I think it's fruit, could be flowers. And once I get that done, that is the month goal. So I'm on track. And I had started on the other side and realized that I was on the wrong side. So I've got a little head start when I get that side going. So it feels good. I mean, I have a couple of stitch alongs too, exactly. And I think that's enough for me. I feel like if I got another stitch along going, that's all I'd be doing is the stitch alongs. And I want to be able to meet those stitch along goals. That's me, and yet still have time to do other things that call to me. So that is my Anne Morrison. Jessie Watson, that's my other stitch along that I'm doing, and this one is I am doing with Barbara Raspberry Stitcher, and I did a costume tube, I called it, the other day, where I talked about the sampler and the year 1816 that we think the sampler was created, and a costume that kind of corresponds to that time in history. I talk about the history of that year and the costume. So if you're interested in that, check that out too. So that is Jessie Watson, and this is where I am with it. Get my board up here. So this one I am doing on Seraphim, another Seraphim fabric called, no, I'm sorry, it's Silk Weaver, 36 count buttercream. And I'm doing this with Victoria Clayton Silks. And Victoria Clayton is, she does sometimes she'll do packages for specific samplers. So I'm not sure if you can still get the Jessie Watson silks from her, but you can I'll try to link her below so you can check her out. She's got a lot of beautiful silks. So it's good coverage. I mean, it's a finer silk, and I've said it before, I think it looks fantastic. And sometimes I wish I would have done it in a 40 count fabric, because I think the coverage, it's just different. I think it's going to look really pretty on my sampler wall. It has a very delicate look, but I'm also, you know, once I get down to the house too, where I've got all that red, that's gonna fill in, and it's kind of that checkerboard house and eyelet stitches in the heart, and I think it's a year of eyelet stitches for me. A lot of eyelets, but I'm getting better at them. So that is Jessie Watson. That's been a fun stitch along. There's a lot of really great stitchers that are stitching along. If you feel like you want to jump in. I got the Jessie Watson chart. It's a PDF on Hands Across the Sea, and there's a lot of great silks out there you can get, or kit it up with DMC. It's a lot of fun. It's been a fun stitch, and it stitches up pretty quickly too. Okay, let's move on. So, Historical Sampler Company. I thought I'd be done with this. I put it down, picked it up, put it down, picked it up. So let me show you where I am on this. I'm doing this on a 25 count. So hats off to you ladies that do over 1 on 25 count. It's a challenge for me, but I'm getting better at the over 1, because it's not just little for me. It's not just the little. It's working over 1 has been a challenge. And I have to say, Jean Farish, she has an over 1 tutorial, helped so much, and I will try to link that below too, because if you struggle with over 1 at all, it clears it up. It makes it so much easier to see how the stitches are going to lay down. And so this is where I am. So I completed, this whole side is pretty much done. I just need to continue the border up around, and then I did the bird and started on that big flower. So not a ton of stitching left to do on this, and it'll be done. And I'm doing again in the DMC, which is beautiful. So Scandy Heart Sampler, and you can get that as a PDF on their website, and it's an easy download, and you can start immediately. So that's what I love about those downloads. Okay, so this is one that I wanted to do. So because I love Brenda, the sampler stitcher, and she says, stitch what you love. I love her. I love this. So, hey, I thought of Brenda as I started this and said, you know, I've got a lot of whips going, but I really want to do this. So I'm doing this. And it's on a 40 count Dusty Road by Seraphim. And I showed you all those Seraphim fabrics, and this was one piece that I had got at the same time, and I'm doing this with my own conversion. So I just grabbed things that I thought looked like the picture. I'll pull it up in a second here. So I've got Schoolhouse Red by Gloriana. This is called Cotton Candy. It's by Gentle Art. I've got a couple more Gentle Arts. This kind of darker purpley looking one is Weeks Dye Works. It's called Stepping Stone. And I was going to go with a really royal purple, but I liked how kind of muted and gray that purple was. And I think it complements the lighter, this is Highland Heather by Sampler Threads. So, yes, it's kind of teeny tiny. So this one back here, what I charted Abide in Love for, is the same company. It's called PLC Traditional Samplers, And I got it on Kitten Stitcher. I'm not sure it's in print anymore. So run on over to Kitten Stitcher because she did have some of them left last time I looked. And I think it's got DMC but in the chart, but I just kind of grabbed what I had in my stash. I think I have a DMC chart that has the actual thread in it. And I pulled that out and then I just kind of matched things to it. So that's what I'm doing. And it's been fun. I've only worked on it, I'd say about 4 days, and I've made pretty good progress with it, if I do say so myself. Okay, let's see here. All right, last but not least is an Upfindle. And I am doing this, another Hands Across the Sea, so I think this is the third one that I've got going right now. And I'm doing this with all the called for Avera that I put on floss drops. I'm a floss offender, is that what I said? Yeah, I think I said that. I put it on drops. It's so easy to pull it. I am doing one strand over two linen threads on a 36 count Lakeside Vintage Purled Barley. And this is on my, oh gosh, what are these called? I keep forgetting what these scroll rods are called. I'll put it across the bottom. So I worked across the top to some degree, and my goal for May was to get that basket of flowers done in the middle. So that's what I worked on, and when I completed that, then I rolled it up and put it away, and oh, just so beautiful. It's one of those, this is definitely something that I'm going to have, professionally framed by somebody that knows needlework really well, because I kind of played chicken with that upper border. I don't have a ton of room. I have enough room, but not a ton. So it has to be done by somebody that really knows how to set this up nicely. So that's where I am, and I'm hoping to this month, after I get my SALs pretty much dialed in, which really I'm almost there, then I'm going to pick this one up again, and I'm going to start to move across and see how much I can do before the end of this month across the top there. And I know I have a lot of over one motifs to do, but I don't want to put those off to the end, but we'll see. I'm getting a little nervous about that. Just because of I'm not afraid of embroidery, but all that satin stitching, I gotta plan it out. So it'll look good. I mean, what could go wrong with this? Look at that. Beautiful. Okay, roller frame. That's what these are, roller frames. Took me a moment. I know it was in there somewhere, in there, rattling around. Those are my whips. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Okay, so I'm going to show you a couple of, so these are from the past. These are old. This one is from 2014, and you know I was into stump work. So this is, well, I don't know if you know, but I was into stump work. I thought, I'm going to do a stump work casket. And so I picked up Jane Nicholas books, and I took a class with Jane Nicholas. I was lucky enough to get into one of those, wormed my way in. And so I'm going to show you where this came from. It's called a rondelle Elizabethan. And she has patterns in her book, and I adopted one of those patterns and added, what did I add? So I added the bug, the goldwork bug there, and this is out of leather. It's called Kid. It's for goldwork specifically, that leather, and you can see he's got little beetles. He's got a little purple body, and I did a little detached oak leaf and a little rose and thistle and a butterfly. Bullion rose I threw in there at the bottom, and this was my first attempt. This was a long time ago. I did this as a project bag. I thought, well, when I go to retreats or, costume college, it's another story. I'll put my scissors and stuff in there. So I did this silk bag and never used it, but I display it in my sewing room, and I'll show you that book really quick. Stump work, embroidery. So many great projects in there, and she explains things really well. So if you're looking to get into stump work, Jane Nicholas, try her. There's a lot of online YouTube, I'm sure, things on how to get started doing stump work. Miniature embroidery. I love little teeny tiny things, and this is something I did, was it last year? I think it was last year or year before. So you can still get this book on Amazon if you're interested. It's got a lot of cute little, projects, little quilts, little things like that. I'm not into doll houses. I appreciate little things like that, but I got it, I can't remember where I got this. Actually, it might have been gifted to me. And I was thumbing through it, and they have a section on samplers. Let's see if I can do it without showing you any chart. Cute little samplers. So this is the one I did, and I just found this little frame. I can't remember where I found it at Michael's or something, and I just stitched it on there. So this is a 40 count linen, and I stitched over one quite a bit. Let's see if it'll focus on it. It's pretty small. Here's my hand. So it sits up next to my troll doll over on my shelf. So there we go. Yeah. When did I do this? I think it was last year. So those are my two projects. Oh, I forgot to show you these. I have a couple of project bags. So this is one I did with some blackbird fabric that I had, and I used Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch, did a great tutorial. So that's what I did for that. And that's the back. It's a primitive gathering fabric, and I just made it long and skinny to fit that particular fabric. And then I did this one out of little, what are they called? Mini charm packs. I had a mini charm pack with that fabric line. It's called Rue 1800, and Nicola Bumble Stitches has a fabulous tutorial on how to fuse these little squares onto a fusible and then sew them in, and they line up perfectly. It took all the stress out of getting all your rows correct and having everything look good, and then it gives it a body to be on a fusible. I backed it with that, and I lined it with just a white print that I had in my stash. There we go. Ready for my project. So those are my finishes. I'm going to do a really quick share with this sewing machine behind me. If you're interested, if you're just here to see cross stitch, that's all I have to show, and I thank you for stopping by, and let you go on to the next floss tube, or stay and learn a little bit about this. I'm not going to talk a lot. So I know that featherweights are all the rage right now, and I know Nicole's Needlework is, she has a featherweight, and she's been learning how to quilt, and she's really, really good. She's what I'd call an advanced beginner, and I'm a beginner, so not like, I know a lot about quilting, but she's really good. And so she had another sewing machine that she got rid of when she got her featherweight. So I thought, boy, what is the thing with featherweights? They're like, so everybody's talking about featherweights, and you go on the featherweight channel, they have a YouTube channel and they have a website, and they're adorable. They have them painted all these cute colors, and they're like all the rage right now. I thought featherweight, I need a featherweight. So Nicole's Needleworks said that she got a featherweight on Craigslist. So I thought, I never even thought to look at Craigslist. I've been looking at eBay, and they were going for a fortune. So I looked at Craigslist, and lo and behold, there was something that had just been listed a couple of hours, and it was a featherweight. It was about an hour away from me. So I called them up. Yes, they had. Yeah, I have it. I bought it from my mother-in-law. I have a bunch of, old, things. I don't need this, and blah, blah, blah. So I said, well, maybe I'll come out and let me get my husband, and we'll take a drive out and have a look. So I was all planning to go, with my $350 and buy this featherweight. And then I just put the brakes on for a second. And I said, okay, hang on a second. You have a vintage sewing machine up there you haven't really played with or looked at for very long. And you've got 2 other sewing machines. Do you really need to have a 4th sewing machine? And does it need to be a vintage one too? Because right away I'm going to want to get all the stuff to fix it and blah, 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 blah. So I put the brakes on, came upstairs, pulled this one out. It has this cool bent wood top, and it needs some help. It came with a key. It came with the accessories, a little bit of a little tube of oil that, don't worry, I'm not using. And so I cleaned it up, and I pulled it out, and I started to stitch with it in earnest. And I started to see what the seams would be like, and what the tension was, how to work the tension, and what is the personality? Because I feel like these machines have a little bit of a personality, and you need to work with it. There's no reverse, so, which, I'm not that gifted a quilter where I would be trying to lock my stitches anyway. I was watching Nicky Noodles, and she had something similar to what I have behind her. And, I've got 2 other sewing machines. They're Genomes. They're great. They're great. I use them for costume construction. And as a new quilter, I've quilted some things. I made a quilt, a couple of quilts, tops. And they work really well. And at any rate, so Nicky Noodles, she's talking about her sewing machine. And I thought, I was at a thrift store a couple years ago, and my daughter found this sewing machine. She sent me a picture, and I said, oh, $75, okay, I'll get it. So I went down, picked it up, brought it back, cleaned it up, did some stitching with it, and said, that's cool, put it away. And I forgot really that I had what I had. And then as I was watching people talk about their featherweights, and Nicky Noodles talk about her singer, I thought, boy, that looks a lot like the one I have. So that is my it's not my featherweight, it's a singer, and it's I think it's from Scotland. It's 99 is the model number, and it is old. It's from 1951, so it's not ancient, which I kind of like. It's not, and it's in pretty good shape. It wasn't really covered with a lot of dirt. Whoever had it before me really loved it and took really good care of it. And so I'm going to take really good care of it too. And I would like to give it a name, but I haven't really figured that one out. I know Nicky Noodles was going to call hers Diana, which originally I was thinking of Diana, and then she said that, and I'm like, well, shoot, she's taken Diana. I have to have a different name now. So yeah, I'm still thinking about that. So let me show you just a little bit of piecing that I've done. I found this pattern on Missouri Star Quilt Company. They have great tutorials with Jenny Doan, and I'll link that below if I remember. And so this is called Teeny House or Tiny House, and it's a super, super easy piece. They're easy to put together, and it's one of those things that, in the morning, if I want to just start stitching, I don't want to stitch a big piece, I just want to come into my sewing room and do something. I just pull out my scraps and I start to cut out pieces and stitch together. And I haven't done all of these on this Singer, but I have done probably about 10 of them, and it stitches great. So, and it's got this really distinctive click, 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 click little sound that it makes. It's not quiet, but I like it. It's really, it's a beautiful little machine. So these, anyway, I've got a ton of these. By the way, this fabric is by, I think it's called Peaceable Kingdom, and I found it on eBay. So it's out of print, a lot of it, you know, but you can still find it. So it is flannel, so it has, you can see things stick to it, so it makes great like places to put your threads. So I have a lot of those, and because I did those, I don't know, I was going to do like a whole quilt at the end of the year with all of those, and then I just kind of put it off. So now I'm getting a bigger stack of them. And when I started doing that, then I started to make little ones. So this one is what I made out of the remnants of that top block. My dogs are barking. And so I just did a seam down the middle there. And I pieced it together. If you're interested in how I get the little one from the big one, I'm happy to let you know. I could do like a tutorial. I could do a tutorial if you're interested, or if you just want to know the measurements and like the cutting instructions and how I stitch it. It's super easy, really. But I can give you the dimensions that I do these little guys from. And these would be a cute little, you know, project bag. So I'm not going to throw all of them in your face, but that is the quilting. There you go, and the Singer. Where am I? 44 minutes. Woof. All right. Well, this is going to be one of those things that it's going to take me a while to edit and upload. I really try to keep them short, but clearly that was not in the cards today. So thank you again for stopping by and for you know, going on this journey with me. I'm just going to close by saying, you know, have a great rest of the June. Have a great rest of June, leaning into whatever that month looks like for you. And I love you guys. Thank you for being a part of my channel. Thanks for stopping by. If you like and subscribe, that's even better. So you take care, and I'm going to be stitching like mad, and I know you will too. Bye.